and welcome back to the 20th part of the course. It is the final episode. You have made it. It's like now this shall also be like the best part ever because you will see that with few clicks your blade will just come into life. In the last video we set up a substance project and now we are ready to texture. As you can see right here on the right we have our layers. All of these ones of the texture sets have this called layer 1. And feel free to delete it because this is literally like the default cube in Blender. It just exists for no other reason to otherwise be deleted or to put a material on it. But let's start off simple. So first I will select the blade. And down here we have different materials. So we have like the basic materials, the smart materials. I will shortly show you the difference. We have the occlusion maps, dirt and other things you can put on the edges and cavities. We have filters, brushes, we have a bunch of stuff. So we are going to use our smart materials. The difference between those two, so these are like a one layer material. So what you see here is what you get. On the other hand, smart materials. What is amazing about them, it also uses different procedural or automatic effects based on your baked mesh maps. For example, it will give you some of the dirt on the edges automatically. It will literally follow the geometry of your object and add a detail based onto it. And now all of the materials that I'm going to use are defaultly here, so you'll be also able to find them. So first we want to, for our blade, we want to use steel ruined smart material. It's located down here. So what you want to do is click and drag it into the layers. Just wait for it to load. And you have your blade. Just look at that insane amount of detail. It's beautiful. You can even see your edges are like a bit creased because that is what the smart materials do. It follows geometry and adds, I can see these like creases, and it's amazing. This is why I love Substance Painter. Okay, now we should leave this alone. First, let's add all of the materials we want. Then let's go to the ornament, and this is a bit weird one because sometimes you can use a completely different material for something. Just follow along. So we are going to find creature teeth. We're going to use a teeth texture. Why? Well, because you will see how it looks. Looks amazing, looks like something organic, and I do love it. You can see here we have the same thing as well. You can see here we have less dirt, which is literally logical because the most dirty part, of course, is going to be this part. And you can see even it even respects the crease edges. It's just so beautiful. I mean, just look at those details. I hope you're happy with it too. Now let's get to the blade. And for it, we're going to use, for the handle part, we're going to use the wood, veined, and we have, okay, this is my preset, but we want to use this one. I'm not going to say the whole name because with my accent, it's going to be not good. So, as you can see here, this is what our smart material consists of. Which is good because now we can just go around and tweak all of these things we have here. But we want to select the handle and the wood material. And this is how it looks. You can see if our UVs are correct, it's going to go vertically. Of course we can change that, and we will. But for our handle, it's not whole wood. You can see these are wraps. So let's first add the leatherette damage. So leatherette, it should look like this one, leatherette damaged. We can add it under here. And now, so what you want to do, follow along. You go to the wood beach veined. up here we have the property to add mask. I'm gonna click and add a black mask. Now you want to go to the polygon fill, and you can see now when I fill parts of the mesh, the parts I select are going to be wood and the others are going to be the leatherette. So if you have these values, you have 1 and 0, 0 the lace the wood, and 1 makes the wood. And you have different fill modes. So you can fill by triangles, you can fill by quads, you can fill the whole object. Let me just undo that. And you can fill by texture, which in the case also fills the whole object. Let's do this manually. So do you remember how to go around? If not, hold Alt and you will see to rotate the camera, it's often hold Alt and drag along the left mouse button. The translation camera, otherwise moving in the viewport, it's middle, and right or scroll wheel is to zoom in and zoom out. You can click and drag to cover the object, and if our topology is good, you'll have precise texturing like this. The only difficult part about Substance Painter was moving because it is a bit different from Blender, but once you get hang of it, it will be nice, it will be easy. Okay, like this. Let's also select these ones. Beautiful. Let me just see real quick. How is this going to work? Okay, this and this is still the leather. And if you want to just remove these lines, you can go back to the paint mode and see the results you have. Do not worry, this leatherette we will tweak because this is not what we are going to work for. This leatherette is ugly. Ours will not be. Let's go back to the polygon fill. We also need to fill this part. Don't know about you, but this is very fun for me. It really is. Just when you are Substance Painter, it just gives that bonus fun to everything you do. Okay, this and this, and a bit more. Okay, this is looking amazing. Oh, here we have a stray one. We want to put this to 0 and then cover it back to the leatherette. Let us also cover this part. Because obviously there are going to be more woods than leather, so we could have just made it the other way and just cover the leatherette instead of the wood. This is why the topology is important to follow the loops, because we want to have this feel that the rubber ends here and this starts here. Okay, this is all going to be wood. Just go around, make sure everything is fine, double select it, and do not worry if you see your geometry like going like this, it's not really connecting. What you can do is, okay, well, you can just under here, you click this, the folder is going to open up, and you have different textures. You can hide them to see which one of them does what, wood fibers, base color. But if we also click on the dirt, on the dirt you have like these additional settings for each one of them. So let's first click on dirt, grunge map, and we have the projection. We have the UV projection and the tri-planar projection, which I recommend. So let's see if all of these are set to triplanar projection. You can see wood veins aren't, so in filtering, otherwise projection, let's set it to triplanar projection. And you will see sometimes it will map much better, but sometimes you can see it. Wait a minute, didn't I just... Yes, I just didn't color this. But you can see it gives us a much more natural result, otherwise these just curves around it like it is supposed to. Just a second, let me quickly go back onto the material. Now let's do the same thing for the other one. So if you click on the mask, you will get this option. It's set to UV, let's set it to triplanar. This depends on how you like it. Triplanar does something like this. And I personally then like it to stay at UV projection. It gives it a more natural look. Base wood is a bit different because it uses what's called a generator. But feel free to play with that also. So we can disable the layer and see that is the color. We can put a random to... We can also invert it. We can play with the dirt level. I'm going to make it a bit dirtier. Dirt contrast. Not as much, but something like this. We can click on use triplanar. You can see it makes some difference. Let's set it like this. We can also de-alter the grunge amount. That's literally the noisiness. And like this, you can see it now highlights the veins we draw before. Grunge scale, something like this. The Substance Painter is just a bunch of experimenting and playing with things until you get the result you want. If I click on this, the base wood, you can see we can get different colors. So I'll make it a bit darker. You can see like this. So I will just try to make it brownish. Let me just go for a more reddish hue, like not completely red, but something like this, a bit darker, like this. And now let's play with our the red since it is red. I don't like it. The base color, I'll put it to like black. Maybe not completely black, but something like this, like dark orange or brown. And we want to also play with the... We have the UV projection. We can set it to triplanar, but it will not make difference because this is color. We want to find the main material. These are the images. These are highlights. Pattern. So we want to make the pattern a bit different. Let's first is set to triplanar, which is good. So we have what's called here a scale. If I increase that, for example, to 8, you can see we get like this result. I'll try to make it like 12. Or even go more. Let's just try 15. Or if you're still not happy, you can even go like something like 36. I think I used a value around here, so 36 is nice. You can even rotate it around how you like. And then you have the hardness, like, does not make much of a difference. You can try the random C's. You can tell by ratio. You can even invert it to get this like indented type of letter, but I like this. Let's see the distance. It's like literally zooming in and zooming out of the texture. Disorder. It's pretty fun. I like that everything's like real time. As you edit it, you see the results. Okay, this is the leatherette we want. Let's see the edges highlight. I think we can also tweak that. Let's increase the scale here. It does not make much difference, so let's put it to 1. Let's try planar, like this. I like it. I'll just make damages, so I do not like the color of the damages. So we here have a different types. We have like damages, mask, and then when we click on the color, we have gradient. So I want to click on the color and click on the gradient. That's where you will find the color. And here, this is like the brownish one. I do not like it. Let's put something more like brown. More like yellowish brown, like this. We also have the second color. As you can see, we can just turn on to use the second color. But this should be fine. You can also just go to the damages color and also make the triplanar projection type and increase the scale a bit. Let's put it to like 4. It's coming along quite nicely. I like it. Let's now just see some of the other ones. Okay, I'm pretty happy. Let's see what we can do with the ornaments. Our planner, it does not make much difference since the textures are nicely baked. Let's see if increasing the scale does not make much changes. So here you can see under creature trait we have plague, gang, scattering. So this gives it like the texture. We have the base color. We can make this a little bit darker. So let's just try make it darker to give it like the dirty look. And then the plague, you can also change the color of that. Like you can make it saturated like this so it looks dirty. Gunk, well, we do not want it to be green, so let's just give it a nice orange brownish color like this. We also have the tooth texture. You can increase it a bit, you can see it really makes it nice, so let's just put it to, I'll put it to 6. This is our base color, so in dirt and damage, this is going to be literally our base color, so I can make it more orange, I can do it like this, so let me just find like a neutral nice color. Like this. We want our blades to be old. But I'll still make it a bit lighter so it gives the nice contrast. Now let's just go to our blade. Let's see what we can do with our steel. So do you remember? Just turn off layers to see which one does what. So edge highlight, we can go out to the mask edge. And here we can just make it a bit more nice. So we want to have a nice transition. We can invert it. I like the invert much more. Since it seems like rough, we can make it stronger. We can increase the contrast. Let's lower it. And we can have multiple textures. So let's increase the second texture so it gives it a bit of grunginess. And we can increase or decrease the curvature. I will try to decrease it to like 0.6. We can try to increase the thickness. And the interesting one is the position gradient. It just determines how far the overall gradient and edge will go. I hope I'm not going too fast. Because you're just starting Substance Painter, it's just try some things out to see what does what and you just literally get it. It's not very theoretical because you can see the result as you tweak these things. But just play with the contrast, you want to lower the contrast, and we get this result right here. We have the dirt occlusion, which I like. Sharpen, it's nice. Edge damage, dirt. We even have bumps. You can see how many factors are in this one. And we have base. We can change the color here. We can make it darker. Let's do that. This is our blade so far. Let's just make the wood a bit different. I actually want a different color. We want to change the base wood one. And next to the color, you can see that we also have a color picker. And by clicking it, I will not do anything, but you need to hold and drag it along to see what color you're going to get. Ironically enough, I like this color I accidentally got by making this gray. The fact is, you do not want your model to be very dark. I mean, it depends on the skin, but I like it this way. And we'll feel free to just drag this down and drag this down. You have a blade. I mean, you can also tweak the settings to your liking, but I hope you followed along this way and you made your blade, because you should be proud. This is like your complete project. You went through all of the steps you need to do to make a functional 3D model towards an object. I'm proud of you and I hope you're proud of your work too. However it turned out, it's great because it may be your first or one of the first projects you have ever made. I'm just so happy. And for the end, you can click on this icon here. So for save, click on this icon, which will give you the render mode. And you can see your blade in like all its glory. You can see the details. They're quite beautiful. So under here you have the samples, max time. It's similar as in any other engine. And then you have here under display settings, environment settings. You can change the maps. We have a bunch of them. So here our blade is in a, well, interesting place, a Thailand. You can put it into autumn forest. You can see our blade has taken the walk. You have the exposure, rotation. And you can also rotate by holding shift and pressing, otherwise holding the right click. You can rotate around. Oh, I hope you do not get dizzy. And you can see our blade is now in the clouds. Didn't even know this one existed. It's so funny. Okay, you've done it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more of informational videos and more courses coming soon. I hope you finish your blades. Let me know in the comments what you think of the course and see you soon.